Welcome to Histology of the Nervous System, Part 2. We are going to look at gray matter versus white matter in both the brain, and we are going to look at it in the spinal cord. Then we're going to look at the parts of a nerve. Notice I was saying neurons in the previous part. Well, now we're going to look at a nerve. So, what is gray matter? What is white matter here? This has a crystal violet stain on it. Well, this right here is the white matter. This pretty thing, I personally think it looks like a fern or some sort of plant. Is actually called the arbor vitae, tree of life. And the white matter in the cerebellum, that's the little brainy thing that is posterior and inferior in your brain, is going to be deep to the gray matter. Same thing is true in the cerebral cortex. The gray matter is going to be superficial to the white matter, or the white matter is deep to the gray matter. Then we have gray matter surrounding it. And since this was a crystal violet stain, I'll use crystal violet. Doesn't work in green, don't hate on me. So here is the gray matter that is superficial to the white matter. Now, there's a gap right here. That's called the choroid plexus. To draw it, I just want to point out there's these small cuboidal cells that are going to make something called cerebral spinal fluid in there. Normally I have students look at it. It's not the most exciting slide in the world, so I thought I'd skip it for today. Now, in the cerebellum, that's the small brainy thing, inferior and posterior on your brain, and the cerebral hemispheres, that's the large thing you think of your brain. Gray matter is going to be superficial to white matter. The brainstem actually is going to resemble the spine more than it does the rest of the brain. We're going to have gray matter in these things called nuclei. That's a pretty one. And these nuclei are going to then be surrounded by white matter. And that's because white matter is myelinated axons. It is the main motor track and sensory track going to and from your brains. So you have a lot of white matter. It's basically a freeway, and then you have these little rest stops in there. Well, I'm going to be using this app because the app that I wanted to use is not behaving right. So I'm going to start by drawing the brainstem. It's going to be pretty much straight with this rostral bulge. We'll learn what rostral is in a couple lectures. So there's the brainstem. And then I have a ventricle right there. And here is the cerebellum. Sort of looks like cauliflower. And my fourth ventricle would be right there. Now I'm going to start by putting in the gray matter. Where the gray matter was superficial. Yeah, I could probably use gray here, I know. So there's the gray matter of the cerebellum. Now remember here it was in nuclei, so I'm not going to try to give specific nuclei. There's some nuclei. Now I am going to put in the white matter, which was orange, so we'll be using orange. Here's the white matter. And I will now pause this because it's going to take me 20 minutes to fill this all in. Back, I recommend doing the gray matter first, then coloring the white matter on top. Then we have gray matter. We have white matter. And that's the cerebellum. So, like I said, the spinal cord and the brainstem resemble each other in that the gray matter is now deep to the white matter. So you can't really see my shading in. Let's try actual gray. So here's the gray matter. And the gray matter is deep to the white matter around it. This is actually a photo of a histology slide. That's why it's green. So we are going to draw now the spinal cord with its central gray matter and its peripheral white matter. The cord is an oval. And it's going to have a little tiny sulcus right there. And a big, ginormous fissure right there. There's the spinal cord. Now, the gray matter is going to be central to the white matter, and it's going to be connected by this thing called the gray commissary. That's right about there. Now, it's going to have 3 horns. It has an anterior horn, it's a lateral horn, and it has a posterior horn. It's going to have an anterior horn here. It's going to have a lateral horn about here. It usually is such a better job, and a posterior horn there. I know that's posterior up here. This is the posterior horn. This fissure's anterior. The sulcus is posterior. So this is the gray matter, and this is the posterior horn, lateral horn, anterior horn. And then the white matter is just superficial. We have anterior white matter here. I am so going to lose my labels doing this, so I'm only going to do one side. We have anterior white matter. This is the white commissary, by the way. What do you think this is? Lateral white matter? That's right. And what do you think the white matter back here is called? That's right, it's the posterior white matter. I lost my sulcus. There's my sulcus. So this is posterior white matter. This is lateral. And this is anterior. So you need to label the gray matter and the white matter. Posterior horn. Make sure you put horn. Lateral horn and anterior horn. The thing we're going to look at is a nerve. On this picture, we have a spinal cord on the left side. Can you figure out the posterior and anterior? There's a big fissure on the front, and you could figure out a definite lateral horn right there. And we have the dorsal root ganglia or posterior root ganglia, that big swelling on the back. But we have a spinal nerve, I don't have a pointer, coming off. So this is a nerve. A nerve is just a bunch of myelinated axons. The cross-sectional view of this. We're looking at a nerve, and it has 2 bundles in it called fascicles. And those fascicles have lots of axons in them. Oh, look, there's connective tissue surrounding it. What a surprise. Do you think it's the same order as in muscle? You betcha. So, we have the nerve here. The nerve is bundled in something called epineurium. We're going to find out this is actually a continuation of the connective tissue that surrounds the brain. And it has bundles of connective tissues called fascicles. And the fascicles are surrounded by something called perineurium. What a surprise. And this gives room for blood vessels. Now, if I scroll in even more, I'm going to find out that the axons are bundled by something called endoneurium. I'm going to draw a cross section here. My nerve, it is surrounded by epineurium. We're going to have bundles in it called fascicles. Now the fascicles are surrounded by perineurium. Oops. Inside there's going to be endoneurium with the axon in the center. So let's zoom in on that because I certainly can't figure that out. So, perineurium, and I'm going to have all of these central axons, and I'm going to have lots of them. This is going to be full of them. Think of a humongous electrical or an Ethernet cable. So there's going to be lots of these axons, which are pretty much wires, and each one is going to have endoneurium around it. So this would be endoneurium. And that's the histology of a nerve. Join me next time when I do this exact same drawing, but I change the names to cardium for the heart. Thank you. Have a good day.